Hi, everyone, and welcome back to summer school. As you might can see, if you're watching via YouTube, I'm literally on our guest bed because we don't have a podcast set up yet, and it's nighttime, so there's a light. I've never used a light for a podcast, so this is a new one. I'm very excited. We have a super cool guest on today. He actually hit me up, which is super fun because I was just telling him before we recorded. I don't normally take people that hit me up. I don't know. I'm not opposed, but I'm meeting so many sick people in real life. It oftentimes ends up being just people I've met at workshops, conferences, or just through the field of like teaching and all those sorts of things. But this specific pitch, I was like, dude, we got to have you on. This is super cool. So we have Ryan Shaver here. I don't specifically know where from, but I'm going to let you say that. But a Polaroid only photographer. I mean, maybe you do endeavor into shooting other things. But as far as your commercial work, your advertising, you're a Polaroid photographer, which I think is so cool and so niche. So I'm actually like, I was literally telling someone about this interview earlier, and I was like, I'm so excited for this podcast later because it's so niche, man. Like, how cool. Go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about yourself. Maybe what do I mean by Polaroid photographer? Why don't you tell everyone what I mean by that?
Yes, hello, I'm Ryan, and I live up here in the San Francisco Bay Area,
Cool.
and I exclusively shoot Polaroid photography. So for clients, that can range from portraitures or weddings or corporate events. I have another corporate event just reached out to me for
Mm,
a lot of people are throwing holiday parties, so
cool.
I'll be acting as like a roaming Polaroid photographer, and I'll slap their label on there and just hand it right to their guests. And that's that's what I do. It just I can go into why I chose this niche if you
Yeah.
want.
Well, and even like, man, do you shoot anything outside of Polaroids, or do you literally also only shoot Polaroid photos?
I don't even shoot Instax, so it's specifically Polaroid.
Specifically Polaroid, only Polaroid. I think this is
Hmm.
so fun, so niche. You know what's crazy, Ryan, is I actually got hit up because I do emulsion lifts sometimes.
Oh, huh.
And for anyone listening, emulsion lifts, I don't think you can do it with Instax. I feel like it's a Polaroid chemistry kind of thing. But with Polaroids, when they're fresh, you can like peel the top layer off and put hot water on it, and the image can lift from the whatever. I don't know all the sciencey words. I just know how to do it. And you can transfer it to things. I normally transfer them to like a watercolor piece of paper, and it's cool. I got hit up once from a reel I posted from a corporate. I should have sent them to you,
Oh,
because they were like, "Do you think you could do this at a corporate event?" And I was like, "I have no idea." I mean, it's so finicky. It's so meticulous. They should just have. I will in the future be like, you know what? No, but instead you should hire this Polaroid photographer named Ryan, because for a minute I thought there and I was like, could I do that? And I really don't think I could. I don't think I could do that live action. I think that's way too ambitious of myself to have even considered. But yeah, corporate events love like Polaroids and like photo booths
hmm,
and unique things
yes.
like that.
That is so interesting. I have been thinking of the different packages that you can provide in this space, and I had never thought of the
Emulsion
like
lifts.
live emulsion lift like artwork piece that
Yeah.
you could be providing. That's pretty cool.
Hey, well, I can give you her contact or something after
Okay.
this and be like, I know a guy that could potentially do it. Yeah, you could add on some sort of like emulsion lift to your wedding packages or something. That would
Hmm.
be so good in your field with weddings specifically, like a one of one piece of art.
Yes.
Now I'm talking. But man, I want to dive into, you said you were interested in saying the why. Why Polaroid of all things has like, why has this become your niche? What do you love about it? Because don't get me wrong, I feel like Polaroid for me is like a love-hate relationship. I'm like, man, it's so finicky, like it's so temperamental. To love it is a very specific choice?
Oh boy. Okay. I feel like there's two main avenues that run into the why, but I think addressing what you just said there, the fact that it is finicky and
Yeah.
temperamental is like I think the allure to me that
Mm.
I think there is a craving now, specifically at this moment, um, for something that is more authentic, something that is not pristine and perfect and airbrushed and AI'd and everything
Yeah.
like that. Um, I was a little bit ahead of this trend only because I was studying predictive processing for cognition and AI in my graduate work
Wild.
before all this. And so I thought I was going to go into that field, and I decided not to. And a lot of the reasons were that I'm like, people are going to get so sick of generated artwork.
Mhm.
It's going to feel a bit soulless. It's going to feel like, well, if no one's creating it, what's the point of it? I know that those feelings would bubble up for a lot of people. And so I'm like hoping that, like our wedding experience, people would like it. So when we had our wedding, my wife and I, we hired the traditional $5,000 photographer, and they did a great job. But what we ended up loving more was we gave some of our cameras to our sisters, and those are the precious like wedding photos that
Mm.
we have. They're in the moment. They're from someone that just, they're not professional photographers, but they did a good enough job that they can get close up to us because they felt comfortable with us.
Yeah.
And I think that's what photographers do in general. They're able to get into that space, and especially with Polaroid photography, you have to get right up next to people, and so you capture something that's a little more, not more intimate than digital, but like I think the theme of it feels very intimate.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, me and my business brain was spinning even when you said that, and I'm like, "Ooh, you could offer something, maybe you do," where literally you're there, yes, as a Polaroid photographer, but you know how every wedding has, like, the Polaroid cameras out, but no one even knows how to use them, and then when the
yes,
pack's out, no one knows how to load it anyways, and then the Polaroid's just sitting there and there's, like, trash everywhere, and that's, like,
yeah.
the classic that is literally the classic American wedding these days. It's just like Polaroid trash. No one knows how to load the Polaroid. Polaroid isn't working. You could provide Polaroids for the people too and just monitor
Mhm.
them and make sure they're working while you're shooting. I'm like, you could low key provide like a whole experience for this wedding instead of the person doing the Polaroid guest book. You do the Polaroid guest book.
That's what we did at our wedding. I was like, I had set up like a very like 1, 2, 3 how to
Yeah.
do it, but I also was like keeping an eye while we were walking around talking to everyone, and so people just sort
So
of
fun.
were able to write down little things to us too. So I
Cute.
mean, this is such a great book to have too after the night. Everybody's just sticking things in there, and I think a lot of people love it because I can just hand it straight back to them, so they already get that right
Yeah.
off the bat, and then I offer a package for scanning, which is
Hmm.
um, sometimes a process.
Yeah, I
But
scan my Polaroids too with the, Epson V600 with the Brooklyn film camera adapter. Do you know what I'm talking about?
oh no, I don't know about the.
Oh,
Is it a flatbed scanner?
so the Epson V600 is flatbed, but then Brooklyn Film
Oh,
Camera re-released the Polaroid, um, adapter that used to be you might have, like, the OG one, but it's
it has like the.
black. It
Mhm,
has spots
mhm,
for Polaroids, you can put them in so that it prevents, like, the Newton rings when you scan on the flatbed.
mhm.
What are you using for scanning?
I'm. Should I give up my secret?
Maybe we save that for recess, I don't know.
We can. We can.
Um,
I can actually bring the scanner over here for recess.
oh, dude, guys,
So
y'all are gonna
how
have to
about
hit
that?
recess. We'll save that because I already
Okay.
told Ryan, I'm like, we're gonna spill all our beans on the public pod. We'll save the scanning, but I'm excited to know what you do because it takes me a while to scan my Polaroids. I mean, it probably takes you a while too, from how it sounds.
You'll want
I'll find
to
out.
stay
Yeah,
for
we'll
recess.
all want to stay, even me. No, I'm stoked. So, the temperamental side of things, I am curious, and I'm sure everyone listening is curious too. Like, for me, one of the biggest hesitations I have with Polaroid film is obviously I said the temperamental side is like weather and like
Mhm.
traveling. And I don't know specifically with some of your work if you've been traveling recently or if you want to get into traveling with Polaroid film, but like, that side's just freaking hard. I guess you can't totally prevent it, but do you have anything that you're doing to, like, try and safeguard yourself in some ways? Like, I don't know. I like buying it as fresh as you can, like, really trying to use it when you buy it, or not flying with it and buying with it when you land in that place, like, or are
Oh,
you
you
just like,
mean
"Man, whatever happens, happens." Do you know what I mean?
I I am very much of that latter sentiment.
Yeah.
So I think I, at this point, trust my skills enough and
Mm.
that I've done enough shooting to
Yeah.
know that whatever lighting condition, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's like one time I brought Polaroid film, I think it was to Utah, and it was like 40 degrees. And it was like, I think the pack turned like pink. And
Oh,
I was like,
uh-huh.
what a bummer. It's so sensitive to even just like temperature.
There is a trick to that.
What?
So when you're traveling and, it's either going to be really hot or really cold, for the really cold, you just sort of stick it in close to your body. So it's like near body temp, or
Hmm.
it's going to be a little bit lower because it's colder outside. But that will keep the chemicals a little bit stable. Other times, if it's too hot, just keeping it in your bag shaded,
Yeah.
making sure it's in the shade. Um, I've never really had a problem because I'm shooting so much.
Yeah. You're probably rolling through so many packs. Like, who
Yeah,
cares?
yeah.
Wow. That's so fun. I don't think you should tell everyone what an average pack of Polaroid film goes for these days and how many shots you get, because I don't think people actually realize how, like, expensive it is to be a Polaroid photographer. Like, you have chosen a hard niche, if we're being honest. What is it?
This
Almost like 20 something dollars a pack right now?
$25 a pack
Yep.
for 8 photos.
8 photos, guys.
And
Crazy.
I was only able to do this because I had a full time job
Hmm.
while I started up when I started doing collabs.
Yeah.
Um, and oh my goodness, did I spend so much money doing collabs? Like, I put so much money into this endeavor just hoping that it would pick up steam.
Yeah.
And it took maybe a year until I got like my first paid client. Um, but that first year, I don't, it was over 10K, I can tell you that, worth of film.
Wow. In spend alone, just overhead.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm being very conservative. I don't
Yeah.
really want to say the real cost.
He's like, "Actually." Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I get it completely. Sometimes I think about even the fact that I shoot film. I shoot pretty hybrid with weddings these days. Like,
Mm,
I still would say I started on digital. I would say in some ways I've kind of, I don't know if this is a literal term people use, but I would consider myself a digital first photographer. Like,
mm,
I had a film camera and digital camera about the same time when I started, but professionally I started digitally. And so my eye sometimes wanders to digital more. I'm open minded to training it to wander to film first, but when it comes down to the wedding day, I'm still shooting both almost equally as much.
mm.
Sometimes digital more. So, anyways, all of that with a grain of salt. I'm still shooting sometimes 10 to 20 plus rolls of film a wedding.
Oh my,
And
yes.
I'm like, man, sometimes I'm like, guys, what if I would have just stayed a digital photographer? The money I would have saved. Yes, you can technically charge for film, and yes, film photographers might be worth more or get a client over
Mm.
another purely out of the novelty. But man, the overhead is crazy. I'm
Let
like dropping stuff off at a lab, and I'm like, oh my god, $1,000. This is crazy.
I have a question based off that. So you get them back from the lab and you get the digitals.
Yeah.
Are you still spending time editing those digitals as well?
So with it really depends. Like, I'm open-minded to tweaking some of the scans if I need to,
Mm,
because they have so much power when they are also scanning on color and whatever lab you choose and what different scanner you end up choosing with that said lab. Totally open-minded if I need to tweak very basic things like
mm,
temperature a little bit or crop like a composition, or maybe now this could be, people might not love that. I don't know. People actually have been like, "No, that doesn't matter. We used to manipulate them in the dark room anyways," but maybe I'll like AI out like a fire hydrant or something, or a
mm,
car.
mm,
So yes, I'm still like touching them, but I'm not doing a ton. I'm not like slapping on a preset or anything like that.
Mm.
But I have been trying to dial in like which scanner I'm preferring because I think I'm flopping back and forth. I think I prefer Frontier right now, based off of the tones, but obviously the lab you choose will also affect that a ton. So I just rambled so long on that one question. Everything to
No,
say, yes, I touch them. I don't do a ton. And I think the lab you choose is really important so that you don't feel the obligation to do much more, you know?
yes, I was just sort of curious of if you felt that film presented the time saving sort of.
I don't think it saves time for me, if we're
No,
being real.
okay.
Yeah, because, well, I guess it also depends then on lab too. When I was using Richards out of LA, they are, if I number my rolls, they're delivering them in order and they're, there's no borders, they're cropping, straightening the images, things like that. Whereas when I use maybe my mom and pop locally, half of the photos are like upside down and out of order. And I
Mm,
feel like I'm spending just as much time like rotating these images to
yeah.
deliver them digitally
Mhm.
than like editing a digital gallery, if that makes
Right.
sense. So it still
No,
takes time, but obviously, I'm sure I would assume Richards also cost more. It's kind of like luxury wedding photos versus a normal wedding photo, the
mhm.
experience you get with them. But I just hate mailing film. I don't think it's a risk I want to take with weddings. So I would rather use my local lab. So now that we moved out of LA, I love Richards. I'll sing their praises, but my local lab still has great tones. So I'll rotate the images myself right now. We'll see how I feel in like 6 months.
Because in a previous life, I was doing everything with video. So I was doing video
Hmm.
editing, producing for local TV, and I spent so much time on the computer editing.
Yeah.
And I knew when I wanted to pick this up that I did not. I already have a full time job staring at the computer, and I did not want to spend one more second on this computer.
Yeah.
I think that just also is like why I'm so connected up to like this medium is it's just so analog and it gets me
Yeah.
unplugged from here. Um, because when I scan it, maybe we can go more into it in the recess, but when I scan it, I set the settings way back in the day for that scanner,
And you're
and
good.
I don't do any editing.
Hmm. That is nice.
It's nice, but I think it's only possible with the Polaroids because there is an expectation of like what this is.
Hmm.
Versus film, I would expect a very high, like, if I'm paying for film, I want something that has that aesthetic.
Hmm.
No.
No, for sure. And definitely, I saved more time when I sent it to a lab like Richards or for other people listening. I don't know if these other labs do it as well, but I do know they're held in like similar regards as Richards, but there's also Find based out of Utah. And then Indy, I don't know where they're based out of, like Kentucky or something random. But also popular labs for anyone listening if you want to try a lab like that. But man, Polaroids, do you have a favorite like
Camera?
camera you're using these days? I did wanna ask. I got gifted a SX70 and I
You
tested it.
did?
I
Oh, wow.
did, but someone told me that, someone like you, I'll have to send you the photos. They were like, "Hey, I think it needs to get serviced based
Oh,
off of, like, the image result." But it
mhm.
still took photos and they developed. So I'm like, "Hey, I feel like that's a win in the SX70 department when you're just given some random one from someone's home after they passed." You know what I mean? Like, that
Yes.
feels like a win for me that it's working.
If it's working and you can get some photos out of it, like,
The photo
I mean,
quality was
they
so good compared to what I was used to out of Polaroids.
yeah. It's because they're the only Polaroid that exists that still uses glass.
Mm.
They built those things so beautifully. So I guess
It's a beautiful camera. I'll have to show you later.
the my journey when I first starting out was using this one here, which is the Polaroid Now. So it's a very basic plasticky one that everybody has. It's like $100 or something like that. And you can get some pretty good photos out of it if you know what you're doing with lighting and you know what you're doing with space because it does have a certain focal length that it's
Mm.
just locked in at. So you need to like pretty much shoot in that. And then I have what I consider the worst camera at the highest price point, which is gonna get blackballed from the community because I say this, but it's that I2, the new one that came
Mm,
out. I just do not like that
it
camera.
has like a fancy big lens, right?
It's a fancy big lens, and the and the Polaroids always come out shaky looking. So
Interesting.
there's some people that have the stamina and the like fortitude to like just wrestle with it and get very good at that camera. And I've seen some people come out with beautiful photos, but for me, I didn't want to engage with that. And it got a
Mm.
lot better too. I will say that it got a lot better after the firmware update. So if you have that camera and it takes terrible photos, get the firmware update for it. But the one that I have been shooting with for over a year now is a modified SX70,
That's what yeah, mine looks like that.
and it has the sonar on it.
Mm,
So it's calculating the distance using sonar, and that's how it's focusing.
that's a fast focus.
Yes, yeah, it's very fast.
Yeah.
It's amazing that these were made in the 70s.
I'll have to show you mine. Mine looks really similar, so I'll have to show it to you and get your opinions on it like after the call.
And this particular one, shout out to Jake in Australia. He is the person that I would recommend. He's called the Instant Camera Guy.
Cool.
He is like the engineer in the world fixing the boards in here.
Huh.
And he's totally redoing the insides if you need it refurbished. So if you want yours to operate like new, I
Yeah.
recommend that. He also put this battery here so that I can take the photos with this with the I-type film.
Oh, that would save you so much money too,
It
right?
saves you so much money
That's
because,
crazy.
yeah, um,
I'm gonna need to get mine serviced by this guy. What did you say his stuff was
it's
for
called
anyone listening?
the Instant Camera Guy.
The instant camera
I
guy.
hope I'm getting that right, but his name is Jake, and he's from
Jake.
Australia.
Okay, we gotta find Jake after this. That sounds amazing. I recently found out that there's a person in Seattle that has toy camera meetups. And I'm like, that is also so niche. We need to have her on the podcast too. When all she shoots on is a Holga and
Oh
she has
wow.
like photo walks for people with toy cameras. And I'm like, dude, I love toy cameras. I take like a stupid little lomography fisheye camera like everywhere
Uh
and it's just a fun shitty camera. I don't know. It's a fun one, and I also shoot Holga sometimes, but yeah, I'm like that's so it's like you, like such a niche, like a toy camera like stand. That's all you shoot on is your toy camera, and I need to get her on after this. This will be so fun. But man, so on wedding days, are you juggling? And you could talk corporate too. Sorry. I
huh.
just wedding is ingrained in my mind these days. But are you shooting on multiple Polaroids most likely? Are you doing black and white and color film? Or are you just doing like you ask them and it's whatever they want? Or how is this like practically? You don't even have to tell me everything, but I feel like this could be a cool place to even kind of end this out is just the practical side of being a Polaroid wedding photographer. Like, are we running multiple cameras? Are we running multiple different types of film? Or are you just kind of like going with your gut and your intuition of what you feel like is right in the moment?
I think yes to both,
Okay,
right?
cool.
So I'm always going with my gut.
Yeah.
But that gut has been informed through
Yes, what they want.
a thousand of these packs, right? Thousands of them. When I show up on wedding day, I'm usually wearing like a sling bag full of packs,
Cool.
right? Um, I will also carry with me a, this camera just in case something happens to the SX70. Knock on
Yeah.
wood, nothing has. I have just bought from Jake another one of those modified SX70s because I want to have two of them, one just as a backup because they are so mechanical and you're shooting so much.
Yeah.
You I've encountered mechanical problems as far as like getting film in and out of there
Mhm.
because Polaroid has picked up that our little community is using the I-type in these cameras. So they've built into the actual new Polaroid packs little lips
Ah,
that make it get stuck in the
that's
SX70s.
so
So
annoying.
I also carry with me on wedding days, ever or any shoot, a pair of pliers, which I snap off those little blips, those little tabs, so that I can slide it in and out. Sometimes I will prepare those beforehand if I know that I'm shooting a ton.
Wow.
Um, what else am I doing? Uh, that SX70 to shoot the I-type takes batteries.
Yeah.
So I also have just a bunch of those in my bag, just like any other photographer would have extra batteries just in case. I think when clients come to me, they kind of have already seen my work or they
Yeah.
understand what the vibe is. But I always jump on a call beforehand, like most, you know, seasoned professional photographers do. Just get to know them, what they want, draft up what it is. Do they want black and white? Do they want color? Most people just want color because they can turn it to black and white. But
Yeah.
I do tell them that, the black and white on Polaroid is
I
so much
love black
different.
and white
It's so
Polaroid.
beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more expensive, but sometimes I'll just throw in a pack for fun too, just so that they have it. Um, yeah, a lot of it after like the ceremony stuff, I'll just walk around and you know I'll have decided with the client if they want me in one location roaming, if they want me handing it out to the guests, if they want me collecting it, putting it somewhere. So
Now, okay, I have one final question I think would be interesting. Something that popped into my mind is like, you have to market yourself because how are you going to book more people if you can't market yourself? Polaroid being something oftentimes people are going to want to like take home, not all the time. You might scan some, but with some of your clients, it's sounding, maybe they want you to like have it as like a gesture for guest, a gift. I have a lot of clients who love gifting. What and how are you
just have little things like that if
That
you
is
could just
actually smart. But when it comes to like, what about being able to post on social media some of these Polaroids? Are you like taking iPhone photos of them? Are you like, how would you, if you're giving out them in live action? Because when I used to shoot Polaroid at wedding, I specifically would bring them back with me so I could scan them, so I could post them, and then I would just mail
Mhm.
them to the client after the fact. Like with you, with people wanting to like take them home with them, um, have you found a workaround for that? Like, I know some people have tried to like take a photo on their phone and like scan it via the Notes app or whatever.
uh,
Do you have a workaround, or have you gotten lucky enough that you do have you have been able to like scan a good bit of your like favorites?
I will say this that I've taken up the philosophy that if my work is interesting enough to people,
Mm,
I thankfully haven't done a ton of marketing.
that's amazing.
Other than the, you know, countless number of packs that I've done with collabs.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like that's been my main marketing, right? Trying to find people that would like sort of boost the spread,
Yeah.
and just get more eyes on like that I'm doing this. And some of those collabs I've actually converted too. So I
Yeah.
just this earlier this year, one of the collabs I did 2 years ago, she got married this year, so she knew that I was available and, and hired me. So
Well, I mean, if
some,
anyone listening their client needs a Polaroid photographer, we know the guy now. We literally know the person. Yeah.
but yeah, sometimes at corporate events it'll be a little bit easier to do like I'll just do a video or something of some of
Mm,
the I'll throw like Polaroids or like around the room at these corporate
yeah.
events just so people can like stumble upon them. So when I do that, I'll maybe take a video or two, but none of those videos are on my Instagram, so I don't
Yeah.
really do much marketing of
Well,
that.
no, yeah, even for yourself, like a lot of your work, no one will see outside of the people that paid for it
Hmm.
because it's literally going home with them, which is so unique. But yeah, I only asked on the side of marketing, it's hard to like book more of it unless it's word of mouth, but it sounds like word of mouth is doing you so good. So that's so cool.
And I think that's sort of what's keeping this feeling less, you
Yeah.
know, you
No, I
know.
mean, word of mouth is like one of the most beautiful word of mouth and in person relationships, so slept on. I feel like they're so
Hmm.
slept on in the wedding industry in today's day and age with the younger wave feeling like social media is the only way to book people. I took a shift where I kind of like stopped posting as much and like really worked on like in-person networking and stuff in my business just because it's like, you really don't need that many people to support you to have
Hmm.
a sustainable career for the rest of your life if you have real in-person relationships. Whereas
Yeah,
social media just like hoping and praying that with some post someone's going to find you. I don't know, it's just not the most sustainable idea for us, you know?
I forget the name of the author of this article, but there's some famous article floating around that you need 1,000 true followers
Yeah.
that can sustain you over the course of your career.
Yeah. You don't need a ton. I would say even like I bet even like 100. I mean, in the wedding industry, you really you need like 3 venues recommend you and like 3 to 5
Hmm.
planners, and you could be good. Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy if we actually just think about it in that way. I'm not making it sound overly easy for anyone listening. I'm not trying to make it sound that way. I'm just trying to encourage you that those in-person relationships, like, they could change your life, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Um, I've also gotten pretty lucky with my website, funnily
Mm.
enough.
Your
So,
website was cool. I checked it out before the podcast. I like
oh,
it.
thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. I try to keep it simple because I feel like that's sort of like what I'm selling here is
Mhm.
that, experience. But I've gotten many corporate clients from the website.
Mm.
So, I put all this effort into the Instagram, but I feel like the Instagram is more, I'll get more wedding and portraiture clients there.
Yeah.
But it's the corporate clients coming through the website, which is interesting. So, for all those out there, you don't need to spend a ton of money on a website. Just make sure that, you're really putting in your keywords. I'm using
Yeah.
Squarespace like a lot of people,
Yeah.
but um, yeah.
The one emulsion lift person found me from a reel because that was super niche. So honestly, Ryan, you should post some sort of video of an emulsion lift one day if you do one, because when you search emulsion lift, even myself trying to learn how to do one
Hmm.
back in the day, it was like there's like 3 YouTube videos. And she said that she had seen a person wasn't doing emulsion lifts. They were doing peel apart film on the
Hmm.
like streets of New York. I ended up watching the video of the artist. I forget their name. But that was where the inspo for the corporate event came from. And then they found my emulsion lift. So
Oh, wow.
I'm like, "Oh, so niche." Peel apart film would be cool, even more expensive, but, yeah, totally. I feel like you never know. They found me from, like, I think a short on YouTube. So, YouTube Shorts
Wild.
could work out. But, man, this has been so much fun. I feel like we're ready to dive into a little bit of the nitty-gritty of all of this over in recess, but this has been such a cool conversation. Before we wrap up, I do like asking people. I ask them all sorts of different things to wrap up the calls sometimes, but if you had to tell beginning Ryan something about Polaroids or the business of Polaroids that you wish he had known back then, what would you wanna tell him?
Oh my goodness. Well, I feel like it's the same thing I told myself all the way through that beginning
Hey, give it
year
to us.
is that if you find value in it,
Mm,
just keep going.
that's
If
beautiful.
because there literally was no people on my channel for forever, or my
Yeah.
Instagram or the profile, whatever. It took over a year for any sort of significant movement, or like, I think the first paid gig was like $100 or something for a pack.
Yeah.
It's like just that little bit kept me going after that.
Mhm.
And then maybe don't be don't be so worried about. No, I'm I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not that worried about marketing, but I think at some point I was.
Yeah.
I was trying to do a lot, and I was spending hours and hours and hours on a flatbed scanner.
Mm.
So maybe that's the real answer. Is I would have told him to buy this scanner, which we're going to talk about in recess.
Oh my gosh, this is even better. Man, well, this has been such a cool conversation. For some of you listening, if this is one of your first episodes and you're like, what the frick is Recess? Recess is just the exclusive miniature version of this podcast. This podcast is where you can come for all free resources revolving around summer school and myself. But if you want to dive in, we have a membership community you can click over to in the show notes. And we just have whatever guest wants to come on and drop some hot tips over in there. We have a little miniature version of the podcast. So go ahead and head over there. But if you were inspired by this podcast and you want to either send it to a friend, send it to someone who needs to hire Ryan, or put on your stories and like shout him out because this is so freaking cool, go ahead and do that right now. And Ryan, just to close us out, how about you tell everyone like where they can find you? Obviously, as always, it'll be in the description, but it's Ryan.Shaver, right? You can say it yourself.
It is
Oh,
shaver.film.
I'm literally wrong. I'm glad that you said it yourself. Shaver.film, guys. Go check him out. So fun. Man, thank you so much for joining us, and we will catch you next week. By we, I mean me. Bye, guys.